Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Forbes. I'm in my daughter's room. I have to record at home. I didn't get a chance to record at school. So here's my daughter's room. Look at the messy room. Messy. Our name is Alana. See all her stuff. I tell her to clean her room every day, but you know how that is. Okay, so I need for you to get your notes. Should look like this. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing that we've been doing, but this time we're going to add fractions and decimals. Don't that sound fun? It sounds so much fun. Do I have anything in my teeth? Just got finished eating lemon chicken. So now that you have your notes, we're going to get started.
While using number line models, integer chips, and properties of addition, you may have found methods for adding numbers with the same sign and numbers with different signs.
So we've used number chips. We have used lines, a number line showing us from 0 and how many steps is that from 0. If you didn't remember, it's called absolute value. We've also have used our rules, the pink sheet, going down the line, whether it's addition or subtraction. Remember, add a line, change the sign. We did the nay. Are you paying attention? Hey, you in the yellow shirt, stop talking to your neighbor. Not nice. What? There's no one wearing a yellow shirt? Oh, sorry. Must be white. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, so some rules that we have. You should be writing this right now in your notes. Adding two numbers with the same sign. And so if they're the same sign, you're just going to add them up and keep the sign. You can write this, but it's not necessary. If you want to just write, if it's the same sign, keep the sign, add them up. But what if it's two different? We had a couple rules for that. If they're two different signs, then you're going to subtract and take the larger sign when adding. Now, if you're subtracting, you are going to add a line and change the sign. So on the side, you're going to give some examples. But just for us to remember, I have a couple of examples. You cannot use my examples. Don't use my examples. So I'm going to add equal signs to all of these example problems. So I have positive 4 plus positive 4 is going to give me what? Yes, I don't know what your name is, but you have a blue shirt on. Yes, it is 8. It is positive 8. Why? We had the same sign. We kept the sign and we added the number. Okay, so let's go down to this one. I'm going to skip this one for now. Let's go down to this one. Negative 8 plus 3. Now, it's addition. I like to circle whether or not it's addition or subtraction. It helps me to separate what number this is, because sometimes you have two lines in the middle and I'm like, is it subtraction? I don't know. It gets me confused. You don't have to do it, but me personally, I like it. So right now I have negative 8 plus 3. This is not a subtraction. This is an addition problem. So now I have two different signs. I have a negative and I have a positive. So what do? I subtract. 8 minus 3 is going to give me 5. That's my answer. But I need to add a sign. Is it going to be positive or is it going to be negative? Well, the rule tells me that whatever is the biggest number, I have to take that sign. Reminds me of getting married. When you get married, you have to take the man's last name. That's a whole other story, but you can't get married until after college. Okay, so the bigger number is 8. This is my guy right here. He's my little husband. So I have to take his sign, so which gives me negative 5. So now let's go back to here. I'm going to circle whatever my problem is. It is subtraction. So it tells me I have to do the nay. Okay. add a line, change the sign. So now this, I'm going to do a different color. I want to do a different color. Okay, what color can I do? I want to do a different color. Ooh, look at this. Ooh, this is pretty. Okay, so I'm going to add, come on, no, over here. Okay, so I'm going to add a line, and I'm going to change the sign. So now that becomes a positive. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the best one to do. So let's erase that. That was confusing. So let's do red. So I'm going to add a line, and now I'm going to change the sign. So now my problem is -5 plus -2. So now that my problem is an addition sign, all I have to do is add the numbers up and take the same sign. So right now, I would like for you to make your own problem. Make your own example. Don't use my example. I'm going to spank you if you do. Virtual spanking. Okay. Don't cry. All right. Let's move on to part 2. Okay, we're going to find the sum. And sum means add, addition. It's going to be an addition. Now, remember back in fractions where we had to add like fractions? And remember Taylor Swift, they'll never ever come together again? Well, in a fraction, the denominator, which is down low, we never add the two numbers together. If they're the same, we keep the denominator. If not, we have to find something that they both have in common, least common denominator. So let's look at this problem first. We have two of the same fraction, the denominators. We have two of the same. So we already know the denominator is going to be 4. We don't have to change anything. But now let's look. What kind of problem do we have? We have an addition problem. We have the same sign, so we know it's going to be a negative. And we know the denominator is going to be 4. So all we have to do now is add the 2 up. 3 plus 9 is 12. So now it becomes 12 fours. Now, is it a positive or negative? The signs are the same. We just keep it. So I have it over here. So again, it's going to be, my denominator is 4 because we're not going to change that. Put a negative right there. 3 plus 9 is 12. We're going to keep the sign. It's a negative. Now, in your notes, tell me what this type of fraction is. Yes, this is an improper fraction because our numerator is higher than our denominator. So what are we going to do? How many 4s can we get out of 12? We can get 3. There's something I forgot? What is that? Somebody just screamed out wearing white. What is it? Forgot to do my sign. So our answer is -3. Now here we have another problem. 5/10 plus -8 and 8 and 3/10. 5 and 1/10 minus 8 and 3/10. So the most important thing, let me erase this. The most important thing with adding decimals is making sure that you line up your decimals. That's it. Trust me. You can add 83 and 51. The only thing that looks scary is that little dot we call a decimal. So why not just get rid of the decimal right now? We'll put it right there. So now we have a nice, easy problem. What? I forgot my signs again? Well, let's go back. We have a positive and we have a negative. So we have a positive and we have a negative. So we're going to add that together. So what did we say what our rules were? It's the same rules. When the signs are different, we are going to subtract and take the higher number. So since we're subtracting, we want to put that higher number up up above, and the lower right below. This makes it easier. So 3 minus 2, hello, we learned that on Dora, even on Sesame Street. 8 minus 5 is 3, hello, we learned that in Sesame Street. So right now 3 minus 1 is 2, 8 minus 5 is 3. We already have our answer, but we need to figure out the sign. Which number is bigger? There we go, there's our little husband right there. So that is our answer. So let's go back and see.
Negative 3/4 plus negative 9/4 equals what number? Negative 3/4 and negative 9/4 are both negative. The sum will be negative.
Ooh, that's what we did. We did that.
The signs are the same, so add the absolute values.
We're just adding the numbers up together.
The absolute value of negative 3/4 equals 3/4, and the absolute value of negative 9/4 equals 9/4. Since the fractions have the same denominator, add the numerators. 3/4 plus 9/4 equals the quantity 3 plus 9 divided by 4. This equals 12/4.
Ooh, big head fraction.
Or 3. Adding the absolute values gives a result of 3. So negative 3/4 plus negative 9/4 equals negative 3.
So we're going to move on to the next one.
5 1/10 plus negative 8 3/10 equals what number? The signs are different. The sum has the sign of an addend with the greater absolute value. 8 3/10 is greater than 5 1/10. Since the addend with the greater absolute value is negative, the sum is negative. Subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater.
You see how they turned it around? That's exactly what we did. We put the bigger number on
The
top,
absolute value of 8
the lower number on bottom.
is 8 3/10. The absolute value of 5 1/10 is 5 1/10. 8 3/10 minus 5 1/10 equals 3 2/10. Subtracting the absolute values gives a result of 3 2/10. So 5 1/10 plus negative 8 3/10 equals negative 3 2/10.
Okay, so I'd like you to answer by yourself, got it, which is at the bottom of your sheet. What is the sum? And we're going to move right on.
You plant a seed 3 1/2 inches below the ground. Find the sum negative 3 1/2 plus 15 3/4. What does the sum represent?
So I've already worked it out over here. So here we have our number, negative 3 1/2 plus 15 3/4. Now we have two denominators. We can't add them up, so we have to find a common denominator. I like 4. So now I have to change that into an equivalent fraction, multiplying by a whole of 2, which gives me 2/4. So now I like to move my bigger number first and then my smaller number second, because I'm adding my fractions. So now I have these two numbers. So I have 15 minus 3, which will give me 12. I don't have to worry about borrowing. 3 minus 2 is 1. And my denominator is 4. And here's their solution. They did a little bit different, but they came exactly the same number that we did. 12 1/4. Okay, I hope you have, hope you learned a lot, and don't forget what Sarah says.
Breaks through the ground. The distance it grows reverses the distance the seed was pushed into the ground, and that's an additive inverse in action. And you just thought it was plain old biology.
Well, it's been real. Don't forget.